Hi guys. So we're gonna learn InDesign. This is with CM Ambassadors. How familiar are you guys with InDesign? No experience at all? Nothing? Okay. So what is InDesign? Well, it's a publishing software. You use this if you want to lay out. Is there more people coming in?
Looks like it.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay. Are you here for InDesign?
No, I'm not familiar with it.
Wait. Okay. Okay. So, InDesign, the publishing software, you use this if you want to design layouts, use this for posters, books, brochures. You can also use this for app design, UI, websites, ebooks, and interactive publications. And you can also assign interactivity for a little bit more, just interactivity. So, any questions so far? Nothing? Okay. So we're going to start with some hands-on activities. So we're going to get started. If you open up the program, you can create new. And by default, it's just what we have here. But what's really great about Adobe is that we have a lot of templates. So you can look at prints, webs, and mobile. You can also download some templates to have more structure. If you're not really familiar with it, there's a lot of great templates like book designs, posters that can get you off started. Just replace pictures and text. But we're going to start with the default legal or letter. So this is what InDesign looks like in the beginning. What we have first is text. So we want to use text, right? Well, similar to Word, we can just use this T button right here. That's our text button. And you can create a text box like this. You can write anything you want. I jumped over the fence. And just like any other Adobe, you can change the font. Depending on which font you have, you can either do regular or italics or bold. As shown here, you can change text size. You can also change extra text here. You can also change how much space you have between lines. And you can just play around with all of these settings if it's really similar to other Adobe products. And so it's just, you can play around with them. You can also change the color, the text. You can do a fill if it's too right here. What's cool about InDesign is that this is a layout program, it's publishing. So you're gonna have text. That's not gonna be one single block. So, for example, if you're just like typing, and it's just going so far, you have so much to type, and it runs out of space. But you don't really want to keep typing. You don't want one big block of text here. Maybe you want a text box right here, and you want to continue. What you do is you see this red arrow, red plus sign right here. You click on that, and you can link it to another text box right here, and then it's going to continue on. So you can keep typing, and it's going to be one big text box. Another thing you can do with text is you can create graphic. Let's say I have this awesome rectangle that I want to type in. You can just click on the text tool right here. Click on this, and then you can see a circle around the eye, and this means that you can click on that and then start typing inside. This also works for other shapes like an ellipse, and you can type to the graphics. Am I going too fast for you guys? Should I go a little bit slower? No, you guys are good? Okay. Next, we have organizing content. So the whole thing about InDesign is, again, layouts. And if you take any design courses, you care about spacing with grids, right? So we can start off with grids. You go to layout right here, margins and columns, and then you can choose the number of columns you have. The space in between here is called the gutter, and then you can increase it or decrease it, and this will give you more of a sense to help with layout. So you can do a text box right there, some graphic in between. Another tool you can use for layout is rulers, and you see these bars over here that look like rulers. Well, if you click here and drag, you can pull down a ruler. And this will help you align different elements. You can also do the same thing to the side rulers, extra. So this will help you organize everything. We also have layers similar to Photoshop. So that's in your right layers. Or if you don't have this open, you can go to Window, and then there's your layers window right here. And what this is you can have a layer for text, a layer for pictures, a layer for anything. So if I put a text box and type something, I can just click on the eye here, show it, unshow it, and this is just for organization. Maybe you have a bunch of experimental stuff that you want to put in here, or something that's just guidelines, extra images. You can put it on one layer, hide it, unhide it. And then if you expand the layer, you can also, you see all the elements that you can hide and unhide individually. Is there any questions so far? Understand everything? Awesome. Okay. Lastly, we have interactive elements to InDesign. So with the new change, you can add buttons, checkboxes, and to do this, you can make any element. Like it could be a shape, even a text box. You can right-click it, go down to interactive, and then you can convert to button, combo box, list box, radio buttons, and then this will show you all the different things. The appearance, you can change it so if you roll over, if you just put your mouse on top of it, it might change. Picture or the color, and click it, it might change different things, but you don't have to worry about those. So if you click on a button, you can go add actions, go to first page, last page, next page, URL. These are all the cool actions you can do with interactions. Lastly, if you go to pages, which if you don't have it, also Windows pages right here, this is how your structure, your pages are laid out. This is according to a book. So what we have here is the front page. And then if you create 2 new pages, it's going to be aligned somewhere. So this is really useful when you're creating books. When you have elements that kind of bleed over. So if you have like a huge banner right here, I can decrease the opacity. So this is, if you have elements that kind of just go over the pages, this is really useful to look at that. And it also tells you what page you're on, pages 2 or 3, 4 or 5, and that could be your end page. And the rest is just, what do you call it, design elements based on what you think you want to create. This is basically the biggest points of InDesign. I know I went really fast, but that was 15 minutes. Wow. But yeah, any other questions, or if you guys want me to show you guys examples on how to do something? Yeah?
Yeah, I have a
question. What's the advantage of using InDesign compared to things like Photoshop? Okay.
So Photoshop is photo manipulation. If you want to, just manipulate photos, change, edit. So that's when you use Photoshop. InDesign is when you're actually creating publications. As I said earlier, these can be posters, books, and it's because of all these layers and the layouts you have. It gives you much more advantage over Photoshop. Sure, you can create the same thing in Photoshop, but it doesn't have all these tools. The grids and the rulers, the text box.
I would say the other big benefit with InDesign is that it's very reproducible. So in Illustrator, you can make a poster, right? You can make the one poster, and if you want to make another one that's similar to it, you'll probably have to do a lot of deleting. With InDesign, because of the way that things are laid out, because text boxes, you can just place them and you can change the text in them. Because and there's a lot of other things like that. Helps with it. There's a reason it exists. It wasn't just kind of joking around. Oh man, what if we did Illustrator with but it's purple now. But yeah, no, it's about reproducibility. It just it is very imagine you're making a brochure for a company. You can make one in Illustrator, but you're probably going to do that for the one thing. If you make a brochure, you can make a design. You're going to put it everywhere, and anytime they have a new function, they can edit the text. Whenever so I've done InDesign for some clients, and basically, if they wanted something where they could edit it. So InDesign is nice because if you have an idiot taking over after you, they can just edit the text things. They don't have to mess with all your layers and stuff. Usually it should just kind of work. Yeah, no, it's mainly for that. And obviously books and stuff. There's a lot of stuff for books. Yeah, no, there are other reasons. But those are the main ones.
Yeah. So.
Well, actually, could you take them through? I don't know if you prepared for this, but take them through master pages.
Master pages. So this is a master page. What happens is if you go to pages, you just click on master, double click on it, takes you to the master page. For example, if you want on every page, on the left side, I want my name here, and on the right side, I want the name of the book. Anything you do here, so my name is Choi, and on the left, I want CM Ambassadors. If we go back on every single page, what I did in the master is gonna follow through. This is incredibly useful if you want page numbers, which you can add right here. Let's see. Pages. Where are page numbers? You know the page numbers?
Oh, geez. I know it exists.
Yeah. But
and actually, let me hold on. Page. Look this up for you. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So here it is. It's type text variables. And there should be type or maybe insert special. No, here it is. Type insert special character symbols. There should just be page number in there. It's somewhere markers. That's what it is. Current page number. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So basically you can make a text box and it's it'll be A because this is master, right? There you go. Yeah. And now it should be there. Maybe it wouldn't be on the first page because that's the title one, but yeah.
If you did one on the first page, you would make another one.
Well, actually, I think the none might be first page. Maybe not. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
And you can make more. So when I did this I made a book, or I had to make a book for a creative writing class. I had there were poetry pages, there were chapter pages, there was the title page, there was like a big like an acknowledgement section, and for each one I had a separate master, which with slight variations, but basically for poetry you wanted to have a certain style on it. For other things you wanted to go other styles on it. That's again why this is useful in Illustrator. You can't set up these things. It would just be a lot of manually placing text boxes, which is a bunch of garbage. But yeah.
Will you guys speak to where we get it?
Anything else?
How to choose between and how quickly?
Oh, that's with the hotkey. If you press Control, Control and then scroll, you move left and right. And then if you press or hold Alt, then you can zoom it out. Yeah.
What is the content filter tool?
The content?
It's like a fifth button or the fifth button tool on the left toolbar, left hand side.
Oh, yeah.
It's the little box.
Yeah, the box.
Content collector. I have no idea what's here. It's the fifth one down from the toolbox down.
That's one.
I've never used that one before. I think it's just.
Essentially.
Oh, okay. Here's the thing. So like, when you get content, so like when you get like images and stuff, it's going to be counted as content because maybe you want to like reuse it. I think so. Basically, the content collector is okay. I'm keeping I assume I'm keeping track of all the images you want to keep here. Put them in. It's like whenever you want to replace them in. Let me see if it'll.
Alright, so it looks like this. You can add them using this button here. So I want to add this one. And then to kind of place them, I can just
Yeah, if you want to reuse
right there.
And so not just images, anything if you want to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a clipboard on steroids.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and so I mean, like I guess to be a broken record, the idea is everything in InDesign is geared towards reproducing it, more so than any other the Adobe suite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this tool is incredibly helpful. I had a lot of more better time with this than Illustrator or Photoshop when I'm creating posters and layouts for class, especially LMC classes. And it's just really easy, straightforward. You just put in, change information, change pictures. And also, another great thing about switching out pictures is that if we have this till right here, if we just drag a picture on top of it, it will take that shape. So, let's see, let me just download a picture of a cute dog. And I want to put this dog in that square. You just drag it, put it inside. There you go. If you press this radial ring right here, it brings up this full picture. You can change it and move it around. Yeah. But it's great if you want to keep that layout but change pictures. Yeah.
So like, say you're using like InDesign for like making your resume or something.
That's what I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like I'm sure you have like several like headers, and like each header has like a different kind of like styling and stuff. Is there like a way to like instead of having to copy the exact like font size and spacing, like to kind of assign like different styles to different headers and then reuse that throughout creating a document?
I think we can use that through the content creator because that's gonna.
So there's that. Actually, there's even I can do you one better if I can find it here. There's literally a thing that is like creating different. I know it's like a window or something. It should just be like it's like paragraph and character styles. There we go. Command F11 for type character styles. So what's gonna pop up is this window. If you hit new, you can now double click on it. Yeah. So now you can set certain styles for certain characters. So imagine. So this is basically for your body, paragraph, and actually hold on. I can open up this. Unfortunately, the recording won't see this, but that's fine. So here, unfortunately, it's hard to see this, but you'll see how there's like a lot of different text styles going on. You know, you've got big text here, but like with a bullet. And the bullet, I'm missing the font for the bullet, so it's not there. It's all like broken. But this is a different thing. This is a different thing. So I have different paragraph styles and different character styles. So I think for the most part, you're going to be using paragraph styles. That's like how you get this thing. So like, you know, for the middle one, it's an entry. So I call it an entry, and it's got like a certain style to it. There are like you can the most one obviously basic is what you're going to be working with most of the time. If you open a paragraph style, so that they can see this. Hit, like just hit new. Yeah, no, like it's kind of finicky, but like bigger basic area formats, you're like that's mostly where you're going to work in. There are other things like how much like to tab over, you know, whatnot. And yeah, so like that's how you do that. In fact, I would recommend this over making. As much as I like Illustrator, and I made my resume in Illustrator, whenever I upload my resume to like the websites, they're like, "Oh, let me parse that for you," and then it gets it all wrong. Like, no, my name isn't the company that I worked for. Like, stop it. But yeah, this is how you do that. It's yeah.
Wait, how did you open that box again? The paragraph styles.
Is it type? Paragraph styles. Or F11.
Anything else?
So, I mean, if any of you have any like specific things you're working on or anything, we can
Yeah,
help.
we can do that.